Hello everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you very much for joining me here. Happy, what is it today? Wednesday? Happy Hump Day to you. I hope you're having a fantastic day. We're taking a look, of course, here at Terra Classic, seeing what's going on with the charts and big picture, of course. Well, that burn was kind of anticlimactic, wasn't it? We lost the trend line, we're moving on down, and there's definitely potential for further downside. So we're going to take a look at that and much more, help you understand best practice and big picture. And of course, just before we get started, I'd like to let you know we're not I am not a financial advisor, right? And obviously, if you want to learn more about becoming a better trader, I do recommend joining my Trading Academy community and Signal group. Really awesome experience. In fact, if you take a look at my Telegram, you can see that we sent out a signal here, and no less than 12 hours later, we triggered 45% profits while I was sleeping last night. I love this thing. It's so awesome. So be sure to check that out in your own time. Fully automated signals that I send out for my community members, and we've been taking some decent profits. That was a short to the downside for XRP. The last thing too as well, highly recommend using BitGet exchange for all of your trading needs. They're a phenomenal exchange, works extremely convenient in the United States where you don't require a VPN for leverage trading. It's really an awesome experience there, and you also get a decent amount of bonus USDT just for transferring funds over and using volume to trade. You have to use volume to trade to be able to get that bonus, but again, it's totally worthwhile. You're better off leaving your money there and just trading with it moving forward because I don't know. I really like it a lot, and the main reason I partnered with them is because they actually are affiliated with the United States. They have a lot of good options here, and no VPN is really cool to be able to use leverage. Anyways, that's kind of that there. Let's take a look here at Terra Classic. So as we talked about yesterday, there was potential burn, of course, or there was a burn supposed to happen last night, and as we can tell, if the burn had hit what it should have done, it probably should have went up. But inevitably, the price comes down. So what was likely the catalyst here is all of this information here, all of this data. This is buying the news, and this is essentially the rumor. Or correction, I misspoke. You buy the rumor. That's what this first little increase was, and then of course there is a sell the news situation. So that could be what we're experiencing here. Not saying that's exactly it, or the price is just going to dump from here, but generally speaking, it does look like the price wants to continue a little bit lower. But we'll see if we have some key level supports and resistance levels, and roughly what that looks like. So take a look at the RSI. We're trending right along the support level once more, but you can see the support here at about 28,000. Is a key level support on the RSI at 50. Okay, so again, that's running fairly concurrent. We also need to recognize that was a previous resistance level, so should hold itself as a support. But you got to also know too, the more often you test a support level, the more likely it is to break. And this 50 on the RSI definitely looks like it's wanting to break to the downside based on the fact that we've attempted to break below 3 times already. Okay, so again, it's losing that momentum, which makes sense considering how overextended it is from the get-go, right? If we take a look, of course, here as well, the MACD divergence, still diverging pretty significantly. In fact, this is telling us here that we have a little bit more momentum to the downside, and it could possibly continue. So there's not a lot here that's super positive, telling us that we're in good shape. We do have a support level, once again, closer to 20,000 based on the simple moving average, but that is not something to rely on just yet. But note, if we do come down to that, 20,000 and or 24,000 would be 2 potential bottoms for us, okay? So just keep that in mind. That's where we're at there on the daily. So daily does not look fantastic. Let's see if the 4-hour tells us anything different. In fact, let's go ahead and see what the moving averages tell us. Once again, the 200-day set moving average is trending right around 25,000. So we got that average of 25,000. Decent amount of support there, as well as the fact that we have a lot of volume at 28. So in general, hypothetically, the price shouldn't go any lower. Strictly hypothetical, though, of course. We never truly know how things are going to work. But based on the way that things are looking here so far, we are still, and again, this is a close call here, but we are still making higher lows as of yet. Okay, if we have a closure, a 4-hour candlestick closure somewhere in the range of just say 27,000 or less, that would be cause for concern. Right now, I would say we should be moderately concerned, but I would say absolutely more so concerned if we do that, because that would imply that we're making lower lows, and that essentially tells us that the uptrend is no longer valid. Right? So that's invalidating the uptrend. All right. Well, the first invalidation, by the way, is losing this trend line here, because we got these 2 higher lows and essentially broke down below that. Now, there is a chance we could recover today and close above that on the daily, and that would possibly nullify that, but it's not looking fantastic just yet. Okay, so again, those are just simple things that we can kind of see on the charts that help us understand where we're at. We're also getting rejected at 50 on the RSI, and the price is coming down. So I know these kind of seem fairly redundant, but generally speaking, that's a resistance area, and we've gotten rejected by that once more. We've also got a MACD divergence here, and oftentimes this is a very good indication of a short position and or a long if you go the other way, right? So obviously if you take a long position here, you would take in some profits. Hypothetically, short position right now should continue lower. Again, basically just what the charts are telling us. Is that foolproof, 100% concrete? No, but it definitely gives us the inclination that the price action is more likely to go down than it is to go up in the immediate future, okay? Same thing with the 1 hour here as well. We can obviously see some lower lows and some lower highs getting printed here. So if that continues, then we're gonna see the price action break to the downside. Again, keyword is if. If we look at the actual cloud itself, we can see that the price has been doing a pretty good job of breaking above and then breaking below, breaking above, breaking below. So the cloud can oftentimes give you a lot of false positives when you're fairly range bound. And in truth, even though we have been ascending, so to speak, for a little while, we're still stuck within a range between 28 and 32,000 as close round approximate numbers. So again, when you're range bound, the cloud can give you some false positives. They're not exactly the most ideal indicator. We look at overextension here, and there's not a lot here as well. We're basically just getting resets around 6s, 7s, and 5s. So in all reality, there's not a lot of consistency of these trends holding strong when they do. In other words, when you saw the price action coming down, for example, we saw 2 9s in a row and it turned itself around. Okay. Right now, we don't really have any indication that we have an over-exhaustive state. So in essence, that's kind of, you don't really know where it's going to go next. It's one of those things where you have less of a read on the situation based on that sentiment. So with that being said, plus the fact that we're underneath the cloud, but generally keep jumping up and below, above and below that, I would say that we're in a position right now where the hourly is not giving us any strong indications. We can take a look at the volume weighted average price on the 15 and kind of see, and we are working within the standard deviation lines, but we came outside that for a little bit, but we keep testing it. And the bottom line is the price is getting rejected by the volume weighted average price. So that being said, the last 24 hours is telling us the price action should be at 29,000 when it's actually lower, and that works as a resistance level. So hypothetically, it could continue to push the price action down lower. Okay. It's essentially what the volume does. So, I like to use volume in most of my trading because I think it's an important indicator that not a lot of folks will recognize, and it's important to understand specifically what that looks like. Touching on volume too, just to throw this out here, one last thing, kind of zooming in here on the past month of trading, we can see for the volume profile, once again, trending right there at about 28,000, well, 200 to be specific, but 28,000 is essentially the round number that we can rely on being a potential support. Again, we lose that level, that'll become a resistance, and we'll be stuck under there and likely continue further down. Okay, so we might have to redraw out some of these Fibonacci retracement levels here soon based on that. I'll cover that in future videos. Right now, they're still holding strong, but generally speaking, I think that you want to be cautious at this point because we could very well see the price action come down further. Could absolutely be a bull trap essentially, or at least the most recent increase was likely a bull trap, and we could very well see the price action continue lower. So just being safe on the safer side. If you're going to add to your position right now, of course that seems logical if you are a long-term investor, but on the same accord, you got to recognize if you're like day trading or swing trading, there's not a lot here that's telling us it's going to go either direction. I mean, honestly, it's more so leaning down, I would say, based on what we've looked at, right? But on the same accord, stranger things can happen with coins like this, especially if the burn does have some kind of impactful benefit. All right, so again, future reference, anytime you hear about a burn, for example, you never truly know where it's going to go or what's going to happen because honestly, it takes a while for those things to take place. You're not going to see a price shoot up or down based on it. In this case, the price coming down makes sense as more of a buy the rumor, sell the news situation because today, or yesterday rather, was a news day. And of course, we've seen red ever since. Big surprise? I don't think so. Honestly, it's just par for the course. It's the way that the market works in most cases. All right, anyways, that's kind of where we're at there. Hopefully this made sense to you. I hope that you learned something here today, of course. If so, comment below, let me know. I'd love to hear it. But also, more important, consider becoming a community member where you can actually get an effective edge, benefit from those signals, and also my trading college as well, where you can learn and grow as a trader. Awesome experience. Check that out in your own time. I look forward to work with you. Hope you have a great rest of your day. We'll see you in the next one.